I have a great idea,
But I'll
never do it. It might happen. Sure, the monkeys might fly out of my butt. I don't think so.
I don't see it happening.
Hey everyone, it's me, John.
And me, Louise.
We've got great ideas that we're never going to do.
Ever.
Never. And this is the podcast that's all about all of the great ideas that we always have that we're never, ever, 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 ever going to do. Because why do things when it's easier to not do them?
Right.
Am I right?
Logical.
Yeah.
Sensible.
You
Look, I'm not ready to change the world.
No.
I just want to put things out.
just getting things out there. You are listening to us on, maybe it's iTunes, maybe it's Stitcher Radio, whatever your favorite podcast app is. If you're listening to us on, what's the one that Chris uses that ruins the flow of the show?
Overcast.
Maybe you're listening to us on Overcast and doing the thing where it takes out the pauses, aka the dramatic effect. Maybe you're watching us on our YouTube channel. I don't know. Not my business, but I hope that you're definitely doing it one of those ways. So that's pretty cool. So, hey, Louise, what's going on?
Hey. Nothing much. I guess, like Gary Gnu's, no Gnu's is good Gnu's.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Oh, brother. Yeah, I feel like I've had a lot going on lately, and for some reason, like, the ideas just haven't been like popping up like crazy, but a few have come up. So, boy, oh boy, am I ready to tell them to all you friendly people out there on the internet.
I'm excited for every one of us to hear them.
Well, I guess I'll start. Should I just start?
Okay, sure.
Let me open up my little notes app here. Oh yeah, here's one. I had an idea the other night. So obviously, podcasts are one thing that like I do, and it's ideas that I actually follow through with, which is a weird thing because they take work sometimes, which is also, I guess, why some of mine have had to go kill them. But I did have one that I'm never going to do, and it'll become very clear why I'm never going to do this podcast idea. But it's called Running Sucks, and basically what happens is every episode I have like a portable recording thing hooked up to me, microphone, little recordy gadget, as well as one other person who I happen to be going for a run with. Here's the thing. I hate running. I hate it.
That's the title.
It sucks. Running sucks. So each one is, it starts off pretty leisurely. We're having a talk. Maybe it's about what the other person likes to do or think about while they're going for a run. And then as it goes on, the other person's probably totally fine. And I'm gasping for breath because I am miserable and completely out of shape. It may be the only way to get me to go running. Right. But it also would be a good way to have another failed podcast.
Well, I have so many opinions about this, but the first one would be, I was a cross-country runner in high school, and it does suck until you get to the euphoria place, and then it's the best thing ever, and you need it. Okay, but time out. When we would run, when we would practice, because it was practice, our coaches would say, if you pick someone to run with and you can have a conversation with them, you're not going fast enough.
Ooh. By the way, running practice is just running. It's just, you're not practicing it. You're just doing it. It's just happening.
It's probably one of the few things that starts with you doing it. Can you imagine if guitar was like that, where you just picked it up and you're like, I'm not practicing, I'm just playing?
Yeah. There's no, for running, is there such a thing? I mean, aside from stretching, oh my God, everybody who's watching on YouTube just saw the road dog pop into frame. Oh man. Everybody who's listening is such a sucker right now because they're not seeing a dog. So yeah, I mean,
Losers.
For running, is there such a thing as practicing where you're not actually running? It stretches?
I guess, yeah, I was like, I guess it would just be a different kind of cardiovascular workout.
But then it's just like, all right, now go.
Now you're swimming.
Yeah, now it's just happening.
Yeah.
And it's...
Well, there's different terrains and there's like stamina building or endurance.
But it's not like today you're going to practice running on sand. It's like you're running on sand today.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just you're either doing it or you're not doing it. I don't know how we ended up on this tangent.
It was your new podcast that you're never going to do.
This is what the podcast is. This is what it's all about.
Also, I couldn't help but think that, as you know, a sucker not watching on YouTube right now can't see, but you've got this really cute red bandana that's on.
This is my Steven Tyler microphone.
I approve big time. I love it. And pod this way.
Podcast in an elevator.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That would be a fun podcast.
That would be a fun podcast.
Just like set up shop in an elevator somewhere, and then the guests are just the people who pop on.
Come in and out.
This
be like quick interactions.
That would be so funny. That just made me think of when I first met you 15, 16 years ago. You had a very specific, an odd stance on elevator etiquette. And it's referring to how when people walk into elevators, they walk in and do a complete 180 and face the doors. And you were like, not this gal. I'm going to walk in there and I'm just going to stand there and I'm going to face the back of the elevator and make people feel uncomfortable. And I think about that pretty much every time I'm in an elevator, which is a lot.
And what's funny is people will often, I don't know, maybe it's just people I'm surrounded with, but they're talking about reading self-help books and improving themselves and all these things. And almost every single one of them is like, I just really want to, find a little more peace in my life. And I don't like confrontation. And I'm thinking, not me. I want to fight every day. I want to stand in an elevator in a wrong direction. I want to not me. I'm ready. Heck yeah. Hot in an elevator.
It also would be really funny to just like, okay, it's a whole network of podcasts and it all takes place in one building. And each thing in the building is a different podcast. So one of them would be the elevator podcast. One of them would be the coffee room, like where people are just kind of pouring I'm thinking of office building for some reason, but it's like someone just pouring some coffee into their cup. It could be anything.
It could be anything.
Anything. So the Running Sucks podcast idea kind of led me to thinking about just not limiting myself to just running, but just a This Sucks podcast. And then each episode is doing something that I don't like doing with someone who really likes doing it. But then I was like, I would hate doing this for the exact premise of the podcast.
Right.
So that's not happening. Basically.
No. And I think it's probably for the best.
Probably
for the best.
Yeah. That's where I'm at. That's my first idea of the ep.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, what you got?
I got a couple things. Thing number one is related to thing number two.
Like in the Dr. Seuss kind of way?
Yes.
Because they look like they could be twins.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if it's just me or if other people have this problem. I'm like looking around trying to find something that will help. Here, this will help. This is for everybody at home. It's a mousse cup.
Oh, yeah, it is.
I got from the grocery store because they
For anybody
have
not watching on YouTube, it is not a cup with a mousse on it or shaped like a mousse, but it is a cup that would house,
mousse.
let's say, chocolate mousse, the most popular of mousses.
The most popular. So they phased out plastic containers at this one specific grocery store. So if you get this, you just bring back the clean container, and I like this a lot. So anyway, this is just a prop. So when I am out at a bar and I order a drink, my hand always gets really cold holding my drink. It's got ice, it's been chilled. And so idea number 1, it's called gin mittens because that sounds the cutest.
Uh-huh.
And it's like just when you're going out, sort of like a translucent thing that you would put on your hand so that nobody would know, so that you can hold your drink. I am often doing this. I don't know if you can see that.
Uh-huh.
With my pinky.
Pinky is supporting the bottom of the vessel.
So that I don't get my hands being too cold, because I have a fear that I will just be really cold and just go like, and not even mean to. And listeners not watching YouTube, I just sort of like a robot opened and then the glass would just fall. Also, if I have the pinky underneath, it allows me to take other fingers off to like give breaks to the cold parts on multiple hands. So gin mittens, because it's cute. Idea number 2, relating to the robot opening of my cold hand. You know how windshields on vehicles can be shatterproof.
Yeah.
We have the technology. Why aren't glasses shatterproof? So that even if you do chuck it into the ground, it doesn't like splatter everywhere and shatter, and you gotta like sweep things up. But it just kind of like goes like, and you just pick up a flimsy, broken, but still intact glass.
Yeah.
This is like childproofing 101. This is like dumb college kid 201. This is like you're not ready to be an adult yet. 301. I mean, this is you're an old person and can't reach down anymore underneath the coffee table and area to sweep out possible giant shards of glass. 701. I mean,
well, first of all, I'm kind of feeling like they should all be 101.
Well,
yeah, but I get what you're saying. Basics. This is a no-brainer. Yeah.
It feels like we have this technology.
We have it. It's there.
Why don't somebody use it?
I wonder why. There has to be some sort of reason why, right? Maybe not.
I don't know. The only thing I can think is, well, glass that's breakable is super cheap, and we don't care if it breaks.
Yeah, there's that.
But I just think it's safer, and I don't know. I don't know about your life, and I don't even know about my own most of the time. But is it the difference between a $5 glass and like a $20 glass? Because I'm not getting married, but I might put that on a registry. I mean,
it seems worthwhile.
If you just get stuff, get the good stuff.
It's true. Yeah, I mean, and also if you are a bar owner and there's the option to get this new kind of glass, it's like, this is the bar where you can go to and you don't have to worry about broken glass all over the place.
In the ice, on the floor,
everywhere.
Or sometimes, I'll use the moose cup again, but sometimes I've been at a bar and I've done one of these because I don't love straws. It depends. Sometimes they're fun if they're curly or paper,
I'm not into straws.
Whatever. I don't love them. I'm not like, oh, I need one. Can you put a straw in this? But you go to drink and you're like, oh, this corner is like a little bit chipped. I hope I don't put my mouth on that and cut my mouth up. Do you ever have this experience?
Well, yeah. Yeah, sure.
But we wouldn't have to fear this anymore.
This is true.
So, that's all I'm saying. Gin mittens and shatterproof glass.
So the gin mittens, okay, so you're talking about like a clear glove? Is this what you're talking about?
I mean, we could make them different colors, and it could be fashion. It could be fashion.
Yeah,
but like a tiny thin heat, like
so it's like a koozie, but
for your hand instead of your cup.
So that's a glove.
Yeah. So
you're talking about gloves.
Okay, gin gloves for alliteration. We'll see. We can work it out. Try to see it my way.
Okay, so maybe. Let's say we're talking about a glove. It would have to be some sort of glove with like a grip on it. It would have to have no thumb tip so that you could still use your phone because let's face it, you're at a bar, you need to...
Or you have those ones that people wear when they go skiing that have...
I've never... Well, first of all, now that you unlock phones with your thumbprint or your fingerprint, it's like... You're not going to want to take the whole thing off and then put it back on again just to like unlock the phone.
Right. I just see myself doing this though. If I don't have a thumb, I'm going to need sleeves because that's going to get cold.
Well, then I have an idea for you, and this is going to work a lot better for our people watching on YouTube. It's got a little like hood for your thumb.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you just kind of like pop that over when it's time. Yeah, when it's time to like, warm that thumb up, and then you take it off when you need to unlock your phone.
Pop it back.
Yeah,
I like it.
All right, so okay, and yeah, I wonder what else it could do for. I mean, I guess it doesn't have to have too many bonus features. If the main mission is just to drink comfortably.
Yeah. And as far as like sustainability is not what I'm trying to say, but like the longevity of the shatterproof glass. Like, what if you're a catering company? Yeah. How many times do you like show up with 17 crates of water glasses and come back with 10 crates of water glasses?
How many glasses are in a crate? How many glasses are they breaking?
It was a really rowdy wedding. I don't know.
Yes, yeah. Man. Well, yeah. Or we just have to develop a glass that never even can break. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I'm digging it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Cool.
I see where you're going with this.
I was just like having thoughts, like walking down the street.
You keep on having those thoughts walking down the street. I had a thought.
My other...
Oh, no. Go ahead.
I was going to say, full disclosure, my other ideas are just really rants. They're not really ideas. It's just things I thought about as I was walking down the street, and I was like, oh! and I put it in my app.
Well, I had one of those kind of like ranty moments when I was making dinner the other night. And that's when I was like, in my phone. Because, okay, maybe someone has figured this out, but it hasn't caught on mainstream yet or something. But let's say you're making spaghetti. Specifically, you are making spaghetti for this idea. Okay.
Also, a great name for a new brand of spaghetti. Specifically spaghetti.
Specifically spaghetti?
Okay, go on.
So, all right. Let's say... You're taking the spaghetti out of its container. It's going to be like 12, 13 inches long. And let's say you want to maintain the length of the strand. It's going to be sticking out of that pot until it softens. And then it kind of has to get like
and it might not cook
and then it
evenly.
It does, yeah. How is it going to cook evenly? The other option is to break it in half. Right. But then you have small spaghetti. And that's not fun. It's barely slurpable, and
how honestly, are you ever gonna Lady in the Tramp it?
I know, never. It's gonna have to be a really brief one, and you're both gonna have to be completely on board before you even get going. So
before you go,
why don't we have just like skinnier and taller pots for making spaghetti?
Specifically spaghetti,
or linguine or fettuccine or what have you. Your long pastas.
I love it.
Yeah, and I understand that, like, once it does soften, you don't want it to be like just, I don't know. Let's say the diameter of like a tennis ball container, it'd have to be,
The
more
noodles
than
soften
that.
and all compress
Yeah.
down into.
No, yeah, like a tennis ball made of noodles. But no, you don't want that. So it's gonna have to be like still wide enough, but yeah, something's got to be tall enough to evenly cook those spaghettis and the fettuccines.
There should be a little trapdoor at the bottom that you open, and then it goes into a regular pot.
Whoa!
That way, it cooks evenly all the way through, and then you just
I dig it.
trapdoor.
Yeah. Cool. That
Very
makes
cool.
it even more fun than spaghetti normally is. Spaghetti's a fun thing to eat. Why can't it be a fun thing to cook too?
Yeah,
I love it.
I think it can be. I think we're really upping the game.
Yeah, I'm into it. I'm really into it. So tell me about some of your rants walking down the street going, oh, I'm so ranty right now.
Oh, I was on my way to meet some friends for trivia,
Okay.
and I overheard some people my age and or older
Okay.
talking about the very large popsicle sticks at doctor's offices. And I was like, oh,
Did they
no.
call them popsicle sticks?
Very large popsicle sticks. Now you're like, what? How do they? And I was like, oh, no. How do you make it through this life?
Yeah. Tongue depressors.
Just tongue depressors. Like, I want it to be sort of maybe acceptable sometime to just when you're walking down the street, like slap somebody and be like, no! It's a tongue depressor!
So your idea is to just make it more acceptable to hit somebody.
Violence is always the answer.
This could be kind of like our one time a year siren idea where it's like you get one hit, but you have to justify it.
Yeah.
And what?
That wasn't a good reason. That was just.
But if that's your one,
that's my one,
and it's not like you're trying to injure the person or really hurt them, but you're trying to get them to take notice that
you're gonna shock them.
Yeah, you're doing it for their own good. They can't go around. They can't be over, let's say, 12 and not know.
That's what I was
that it's
gonna
called
say.
A tongue depressor. It's
not like this person was like adorable and 5, like you cute kid, you. No, it was like a full-blown adult.
All right, well then maybe let's weave this into something a little bit less violent. Maybe then
a spit take.
Well, what I was gonna say is that like it's like a pad of paper where on the top of it it just says like, "Hey,
you dum dum."
Okay, that's one option. I was thinking more along the lines of like, I know you mean well, and I know that you're not trying to sound like a dum dum, but you should know by now that ... And then you write, it's not called a long popsicle stick. It is called a tongue depressor. Try not to embarrass yourself in front of your friends. I think that the one to the left likes you.
Mm-hmm. Make sure then if you say the one to the left that you're standing in the right position.
Stage left or audience left.
Yeah. My other weird rant was more like a social question and then a question that I had for myself. I don't have these feelings toward country suburb livers, only city folks, that if I see a woman in a dress suit, a pantsuit, work attire, and sneakers, I'm like, rough commute. Those shoes can be uncomfortable. But if I see a dude in like a suit and a tie and whatever else, work attire, and he's got sneakers on, I immediately think, you schmuck. Why?
Whoa.
Why do I think that? What if his shoes are just as uncomfortable as hers? So I was like seeing this guy as I was walking to trivia, and I was like, ugh, automatically making this judgment about this dude. And then, like, the very next block, because I was obviously going there at the time that work lets out. And there was a woman who was sneakers, and I was like, yeah, girl, totes. And I was like, wait a minute.
Double Standardsville.
Why
What's
did I just
on?
have this? Yeah, so I wrote it in my app. And then on the next block, I saw another dude. And I was like, is there like a huge comfortability problem with dude shoes lately?
Well, okay.
Because they make like nice sneaker like Cole Haan or any other number of companies that could sponsor us that make equally as awesome shoes could make. Like, don't they have cushiony sort of sneaker looking dress shoes?
Of course. And
of course.
Dress shoes generally for men are not super uncomfortable. And we have things like Dr. Scholl's, if you want to sponsor us, Dr. Scholl's inserts where, you know, it makes it more comfortable. I think that another thing that we need to ask ourselves is these people who are wearing the suits and sneakers, what kind of sneakers are they? Are they like Chucks? Because Chucks aren't very supportive and not very comfortable. Or are they like shape ups where it's like you're wearing them for a reason, you know, if you believe that that's going to make you more fit, then that's great. You know, I think that it depends. Did you take notice about like what kind of sneakers
yes,
they were?
They were running sneakers all 3 times. And I was just, it was like almost as if my boiling point kept like simmering at the same spot because it was like block, thought, ha, ha, ha. And I didn't have a chance to come down. And then I got to trivia and I was like, I have to say some things that don't make any sense, but if I keep them inside, I'll burst. So good thing only my one friend was there and the 7 other people we were with hadn't showed up yet.
Yeah, that's one where it really depends. Running shoes is an interesting one because it's like you're not running in that suit unless you are.
That's ew.
But that's a different situation.
And in my head, I'm like, if I saw anybody in the burbs doing that, I would automatically also think, schmuck, you got in your car, you walked 2 feet. If you can't wear those shoes, you can't wear them. No changing. Whereas in the city, when people do it, or when women do it, I'm like, yeah, rough commute. Like subway stairs and like grates and holes in the sidewalk that you don't want to get your heel caught in. But when a dude did it, 2 dudes nonetheless, I was like, something's going on.
Yeah, you know, I think that for women, there should be zero judgment passed when they're wearing.
There should be zero judgment for men.
And that's true too. Although I will say that men have less of an excuse because footwear is not made equally amongst the sexes.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you're wearing dressy shoes that are uncomfortable, men, you have no excuse just to get a different pair. And I know that, yes, women try to find something comfortable, but I get it. Fashion is a thing. You live in New York. People are trying a little bit harder there.
Yeah.
So yeah, rant accepted. That's totally cool, you know, but I see what you're saying. But at the same time, it all depends.
Also, what?
Yeah.
Why, brain? I wish I didn't feel that way for the dudes, but every dude I saw, all two of them, I was like, oh, no, don't. And I like got really, really upset and intense about it.
You intense about something that doesn't matter? No.
Never.
So, did you have any more of these little ranty things?
Oh, the only other one was, when did haunted houses become a thing?
Can I tell you a funny story about a haunted house situation?
Yes.
Well, first of all, like, haunted houses have always been kind of a thing, but more in terms of like the like suburban, like, come into our, like, for trick-or-treaters, like, walk through this room and feel the spaghetti brains. Spaghetti again.
Oh, when?
Well, that's
in the 40s? In the 20s?
I'd say more like in the 80s.
In the 80s.
But like haunted houses where it's like in a warehouse or something, where it's like a destination thing where, 20-somethings go to get a little scared and goof off with their stoned friends. That's, I think, a more recent thing. But here's a funny story. So I used to live in Philadelphia, for anybody who doesn't know, and there is the America's first penitentiary, Eastern State Penitentiary, and it is allegedly very haunted and spooky. And you can go on tours there, and it's like, no joke, this is a creepy ass place. It is very creepy. So they do this thing every year around Halloween times called Terror Behind the Walls. And it is one of those things that you go through. You're not feeling it? No.
Nope.
Okay, so this is the only one of these that I ever went to. And I was going with some people who were, like, buying into the whole thing and kind of scared and everything. And at the very beginning of it, and for anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, first of all, Google it. But also, it's the kind of thing where you walk through this place and there are people who are like actors who are dressed up in crazy, scary things that are supposed to come out and scare you and surprise you. And, there's lots of crazy looking, scary things going on all over the place. So we get
and very dark.
It's all very dark. Yeah. Foggy. There's crazy sounds going on. So we get to like the front of the line, and this guy is there, and he's wearing all the spooky makeup, and he's basically just telling you like, you're not gonna get hurt, no one's allowed to touch you, like that kind of thing, but of course doing it while being like very spooky and scary. And I look at the guy and I realized that I had met him like a couple months prior at a wedding in New York. And he's doing his whole thing, and everybody's getting, all in the spirit and spooked out. And I'm just like, aren't you Dave? And he was like, hey, John, right? Yeah. And then like he completely broke character, and it was ruined for like the whole group. They were all taken out of the whole Halloween spirit thing. It's like, aren't you Dave? Yeah. So, Dave, I hope you're doing well. And I apologize to all the folks out there who were expecting a spooky, scary time and didn't get it. Okay, sorry. Daisy Dog is just like staring at me right now. She's
getting in the mood.
She's getting in the Halloween spirit.
She's like trying to creep you out.
Can I tell you something that I am I'm nervous about? Can I confide in you, Louise, and the rest of the world who's listening? Of
course.
I moved into my house about a year and a half ago, and last year I was so excited for Halloween because this is the kind of neighborhood where you can just like envision all the trick-or-treaters. Last year in Portland, and I know this is like everyone's going to be like, duh, you're in Portland, but it was like the rainiest day of my life. And it was like flooding and crazy. And it was like abnormally rainy here. It had never been as rainy, and it hasn't been as rainy since. But this one day, it was just crazy. So like nobody came out. And now I'm getting ready to move. And I'm supposed to be moving out of my place. At the moment, it's looking like October 21st and then like crashing with my mother-in-law and then moving into my new place maybe like November 5th. So, and my new place is also one of those neighborhoods that's like Halloween out the butt, trick-or-treaters all over the place. And my mother-in-law lives in like a condo building in downtown Portland. So I'm like so bummed at the idea that I'm going to have to like miss out. I'm wondering if like I can camp out in front of either one of the houses with like a bowl of candy and just like wait. But yeah, I just want to have I love that part of Halloween of just like seeing all the little kids dressed up all crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like that part too. I was going to say, like, I hate being scared. Like, I can't watch scary movies because I hate being scared so much. But I do like hay rides, and I do like carving pumpkins.
Okay.
And I do like dressing up in costumes.
It's just general
it's like
Halloween things.
all the Halloween things, except the scary stuff.
I actually remember the year that I met you. Do you remember that we went to like an abandoned asylum on Halloween that year?
Oh my God.
It wasn't like one of those, you're in an abandoned asylum, we're gonna freak you out. It was like a legit, just like straight up abandoned asylum that like was closed down. Do you remember that?
Now that you have said this, yes, but not until this moment.
I had kind of forgotten about it.
I blocked it out.
Well, I don't think that we actually even went in, because I think that we were just like with people who went in and like, okay, this Halloween,
I for sure didn't go in.
This Halloween, is okay. So right before you and I recorded, you were a couple minutes behind because you were watching an episode of The West Wing.
That's true.
That Halloween, you dressed up as a character from The West Wing.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I was.
Do you know which character?
I don't know which character.
I was Janelle Maloney. I was Donna.
I remember it was a blonde
Josh
wig.
Lyman. Yeah, Josh Lyman's assistant.
I remember it very vividly. I was Pauly Shore. Dan Tane, wherever you are, you were Kathy Griffin. And
oh my God!
He was great. And then Jeff was
his roommate.
I don't remember Jeff's last name, but he was Charlotte Ray.
Yes.
The like craziest, most oddly specific person you could be. Charlotte Ray played Mrs. Garrett.
That's right.
From The Facts of Life and Different Strokes also, I believe.
The same character was on both shows?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Super weird, right?
Super weird.
Yeah. So that was, and I don't remember what Gannett did, but
oh,
anyway,
if you're listening.
Yeah, which you have in the past. So hey, what's up?
Gannett? Yeah, write us, remind us of your Halloween costume.
Right. So, and also everybody out there, if you know the whereabouts of Dan Tane, please let us know. He went to the University of Hartford during the 2001-2002 school year.
We just want to say, hey, we miss you, buddy.
Yeah, we do. This is so boring for everybody. So why don't we talk about? Oh wait, everybody on YouTube, you're getting a little visit from Daisy over here. Come on up, Daisy. All right.
Oh my goodness.
All right. So why don't we talk about our challenges? I'm getting attacked right now with love and kisses. Daisy, this has been a super doggy episode. So
it really has been. I've been wondering why we haven't been having more dog episodes.
I don't know. We've got to get on it.
We both got dogs.
It's happening. Yeah. So, all right. But before we started recording, Louise and I admitted something to each other.
It's true.
We both kind of dropped the ball on our challenges. And
big time.
Not so much in the way that we forgot that they existed, but it's just like, huh? So my challenge was to come up with something having to do with honey. And as somebody who doesn't consume honey, I was trying to think of alternatives and things like that. But there already are so many great ones. There's a company called Bee Free Honey that makes a very shockingly accurate honey substitute out of apple. Just apple. Yeah. It's incredible.
Wow.
They're out of Minneapolis. Shout out to those guys because they're awesome. They were on Shark Tank.
Minneapolis.
Oh. So yeah, I don't know. I kind of like blanked on it. I can't think of anything for honey. I mean, yeah, I was trying to think a little bit about the vessels, they're the little bears and everything. By the way, I believe today is the 90th, Winnie the Pooh's 90th birthday. So that's a honey related thing.
Winnie the Pooh is so great.
And so old. You old, Winnie the Pooh.
You old.
You old dog. So yeah, I don't know. I was just kind of like thinking along
and
those
you know
lines.
how Christopher Robin always says silly old bear?
Yes.
Now he really is a silly
He is old.
bear.
Yeah, emphasis on the old. Seriously. Well, Christopher Robin must be like crazy old now. Yeah.
96 or something.
Something like that. Yeah. So, honey. I don't know about honey.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. My challenge was to make you like sandals.
Yeah. I don't like sandals.
Not the beach resort.
No.
But
everybody
the footwear.
loves that sandals.
Yeah. All inclusive.
All inclusive.
As we've been talking for the beginning, since the beginning, I've been trying to multitask.
Uh-huh.
And the only thing that I can think of would be like customizable so that you could have 1 foot be your wife and 1 foot be your dog. Bop, bop, bop. But I don't know. That was all I had. That was all I came up with because I too dropped the ball. And I just thought like, I don't know. Some people like are not into having open toes. Some people are not into having a thing between their other toes. Some people are not sock wearers. So just having no socks is bad. Although I will confess, one of my absolute favorite things to do in New York in the summer is, this is really nasty, but when you come inside after wearing flip-flops, your feet are all darkened because there's just so much crud. Yeah, your face. But it's my favorite thing to put my feet in the tub and wash them at night after they get really gross because I like to see the swirl of the gross water become really clean as I sit there and wash my feet. And then I put super clean feet into the bed sheets. It's like one of my favorite things. I know it's really stupid because I could also wash my feet in the winter, but it's just less satisfying.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Man, New York is so gross.
I love it. Or
you can love it and agree that it's gross.
There are times it can be gross, yeah. But it's also just an olfactory paradise for a dog.
That's true. It's got everything.
The trees and the grass and the garbage and the rats. It's just everything. It's a smorgasbord for your nose,
That's
Road
Dog. So I have an idea. Do you have an idea? Do you know what you're going to challenge me to? Okay, perfect. Because I have an idea for both of us. Okay. So, in order for us to do this, we need to do something that, again, you YouTube people get the benefit of this. First, we're going to do a rock, paper, scissors. And that will, okay, and that will dictate which way this goes. Are you ready?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Wait, time out. 1, 2, 3, shoot, or shoot on the 3?
Shoot on shoot.
Okay.
So, all right, ready? 1,
Yeah.
2, 3, shoot. Oh, Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump. We got to think of ideas. It's election season.
I got one already.
Save it. Because if you get a different one, you're not going to remember to do it for next time. So write down what your idea is for Donald J. Trump at Real Donald Trump something like that on Twitter?
I'm going to write it to him in a tweet. Wait.
No, I'm just saying that's who he is.
Oh. I was like going to have to tweet my idea to him.
Oh my God, that would be really funny though. All right,
Or
so
scary.
we're getting political.
Yeah.
It's the world we live in right now. Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump. Bonus points if you come up with an idea for Jill Stein or Gary Johnson.
Okay.
Yeah. And I will also say that we can also come up with ideas that involve the vice presidential nominees.
Okay.
You know.
Our respective?
Yes.
Okay.
And yours can't be for him to walk off of a cliff. Sorry. And for anybody out there listening who may have political opinions that differ from ours, we will try to be as respectful as possible. And everyone's got their opinions, and we're not telling you which way to think politically, but that's why we're coming up with ideas for these people. And if you have ideas that you want us to talk about on the show, call in 304-804-IDEA or write them into greatideapod@gmail.com or greatideapodcast@gmail.com. Both work. And all of our social media stuff's going to be in the show description. Description. Any final thoughts, Louise?
I don't think so. The only thought that I have that's final is I just wish that sometimes my dog would like a snug a little bit more. Like, I feel like I'm always trying to get him and he's always trying to slither away.
I've been dealing with the same thing too. Is it the Boston Terrier? Is that the thing?
It might be. It could be also, I don't know, the moon or something. Because if both dogs are experiencing this at the same time,
is this like
some sort of like magnetic field in the planet?
Is this like just right now he's not being snuggy?
Yeah,
but he normally is snuggy.
Yeah, and I can't I think maybe I'm a little colder.
Yep.
So I want to mooch his body heat.
Oh yeah, in the morning having that puppy dog warmth. That's so good.
And I think there's also a little bit of jealousy too, because he will offer the snugging willingly to Chris, and then what he'll do is he'll snug up real close with his back. And then when I'm like, oh, that feels really nice, and I lean into it, or I try to do the same thing with him, he will flip over and push his feet against me.
What's with the pushing the feet against you thing? I get that all the time.
I was like, why can't we just back-to-back snug like you do with him?
Yeah.
Why do you gotta turn over and put your little claws in me? Ugh. That's all. Those are final thoughts.
If anybody...
Here's an idea. Here's an idea, dumb dog. Let's have
some
snug.
respect. Some snuggle respect here. Come on. We feed you. We WALK you. I can't say it too loud.
Yep. You better be careful. She might learn to spell.
I think she's getting there. I think that she knows what BACKYARD means. I think she's getting it. I don't know.
I love how she started with one of the longest words, not TREAT, but that.
It's what she likes the most.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you have any final thoughts or words or?
Well, now you got me
gripes?
thinking about this whole dogs not willing to cuddle thing, and I'm like, come on. Now it's all I can think about.
That's your job. That's why I don't have a cat.
Is that the only reason why you don't have a cat?
One of the many reasons. No. One of the many reasons.
Oh, boy. All right. Well, anyway, Louise, thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit.
Thanks for hanging out with me.
And ranting about shoes and things. And thank you, everybody, for listening. Bye.
Bye.
see it happening.